Hi there, my name is Mrs Parker and I'm the Assistant Head for Key Stage 1 and Early Years here at Highwood, and I'm also one of the class teachers in reception. A big massive hello to all of our lovely new children who are joining in September. We can't wait to see you all in person. A little bit about myself: I really love animals, especially cats, and I also enjoy reading stories and dancing, which we do a lot of here at Highwood. So we can't wait to see you in September. Hopefully this video gives you lots of information about your new school. See you soon.
Hi everybody, my name's Mrs Perrott and I'm really excited to meet you when you all come and start at Highwood in September. I really enjoy reading stories to everybody, but my favourite thing is just watching how much you learn during your time that you're with us. So I can't wait to meet you and we can get started. Have a lovely summer. Bye bye.
And welcome to F2. This PowerPoint should give you all the information that you need to get you prepared and ready for September. We very much believe that children are not casual guests at our school. They've been loaned to us temporarily for the purpose of helping them to learn and instilling a foundation of values on which their future lives can be built. In this PowerPoint, you'll find out about our school's values, mission, vision and mission statements, our learning behaviours, keeping in touch with progress, attendance and punctuality, pupil premium, family centre, meeting the early years team, some F2 information, uniform, home visits and staggered start, and questions. These are our values at Highwood. It was designed in the shape of a circle because every value is just as equal as the other. So we have celebrating diversity, continual improvement, pride, happiness, trust and respect. We use those with the children from very early when they come in nursery, and the children are used to them. So at Highwood, what we want for every child is that they should be treated as an individual. We want the children to see themselves as learners and understand how they can become the best that they can be in all aspects of life, and that our children be ready for the ever-changing world. We have no idea what our world is going to look like in 5 years' time, let alone 15 years' time when they're looking at the world of work. So we try and prepare them as much as possible. So this is how we achieve our vision. So we expose our children to a climate of possibility, which will enhance their excitement and passion for imagination and creativity. We create a rich and relevant curriculum, which sparks their curiosity, and we help improve the learning behaviours needed for children to be successful and ensure they're motivated to continually improve. As you may have seen from visits, our learning behaviours are really important to us. You'll see them displayed everywhere, inside and outside of the school. Again, we teach the children these as soon as they come into nursery. We even have cuddly toys to represent each of the animals so that the children can hold them, are used to them, know their names, and can articulate to us when they've been creative or when they've been demonstrating teamwork. And then they continue that as they move through the school. As part of that, we choose children once a week to be our star of the week, and it's wholly based on our learning behaviours, so what they've demonstrated that week. They get to come up in assembly and celebrate with their peers, they get a sticker and they get to take home a certificate. Another system we have in the school is our Highwood VIPs. So children get a chance to earn a badge, starting with a bronze, then silver, then gold. And in order to achieve this VIP, they need to get their attendance above 97%, be on time for learning, have good behaviour, completing any homework, reading at home, trying their best and having a smart appearance. If they complete all those things, then they get given a badge, which they often wear and display proudly around the school. It's really important to us that we keep you in touch with everything that's going on at school. You're welcome at any time. We have information workshops, which may have to be virtual this year. We normally would have some splat sessions where you get to come in and play with the children to learn what they do in their maths and their English and their art curriculums. We keep their learning journeys up to date, so we'll be emailing you the observations we've taken to them. We'll have reports and open evenings as well on a normal. So it's really good that we get the children in good habits of attendance right from foundation stage. We try and encourage the children to come every single day. No term time holidays are authorised. Leave of absences can be requested prior to an event, but they will be unauthorised. Only exceptional circumstances for leave will be considered, and it's at the discretion of the head teacher. Here is some information about pupil premium. If you think you are eligible, then get in contact. These are some of the situations that you might find that may allow you to apply for pupil premium. So have a read through those. At Highwood, we have a family centre that's run by Michelle, and lots of things take place in there, from toddler groups, from stay and play. We've run courses in there for potty training, sleep training. We even run courses for learning English as a foreign language, and the door's always open for people to pop in and talk to Michelle about anything. Here's the team in reception. So you can see the teachers there. So myself, Mrs Parker, Mrs Stroud and Mrs Perrott are the class teachers, and then the other adults are early years practitioners, and they work with your children. They run a key group, they lead phonics sessions, they lead maths sessions, they play alongside your children during their child's initiated time, and they'll be around all the time for you to ask questions. Here's some information about the early years standards we've achieved. There was no data submitted this year, so it runs from 2016 to 2019. As you can see, we're always above the national average, so the green line is the national average. Our blue line is our whole school cohort, and then 11 is our mainstream children, so without our resource children. So we've been very successful over the last few years with that. This is the entrance to our early years setting. So you can see that the mural we've had put on the wall there just shows some examples of the sorts of things that we get up to in foundation stage, and the learning behaviours are there for everybody to see. These are our classrooms for both classes. The children will have a peg, and also there are boxes underneath the bench where children can put their book bags in the morning. There is enough space for them to have a drawstring bag for their PE, that's all they need. If they bring a rucksack, it's just slightly too big, so a drawstring bag would be perfect. And the green book bags that can be bought in reception are ideal for carrying around all their things that they need. These are some pictures of our classrooms. We've got a nice big space, and we have the children flow between both areas. So there's a dividing door between both classrooms, which we close when we're teaching, and we keep it open when the children are doing their child initiated time. There's lots of different areas available for the children to explore. We have role play, art, maths, literacy, as well as lots of objects out for them to play with. Here are some other pictures of the classrooms. You can see the reading area there. We actually have 2 reading areas, one in each classroom, for the children to enjoy a selection of books. We use the smartboard when we're teaching, but we also sometimes put it on when we are doing something in a lesson that we want the children to consolidate their learning. So we might put the activity back up for them to have a try. Some more examples of the space in our classrooms. In the middle there, you'll see a chart with clouds, a sun and rainbow and a star on there. That's our behaviour chart. So the children start every day on the sunshine, and then when they've done something that we want to reward them from, then they move up onto the rainbow and then onto the star. Our aim is to try and get all the children to the star every day. These are the toilets that the children can use. We are really lucky with our outside space, so this is out the front of our classrooms, and it's the playground, so the children will be going out there at lunchtime. You can just see in the corner of one of the photos the field where the children will take part in PE with Mr Highwood's. The middle picture down the bottom is the gates to our classrooms. In normal circumstances, that's where you would come and bring your children in the morning. Obviously, it would be slightly different in September, but we also have a shelter there, so we can go outside even if it's raining. This is our outside area that we use during our free flow time. Again, it's quite a large space, plenty of space for all the children. We have activities set up in all of the areas for them to enjoy. The track at the top is nice and soft, so if they fall over, then they won't do too much damage to themselves. We have activities set up in the tables if they want to sit and do, sandpit, water tray. We have just slightly in the background, you can see there climbing areas of a tree house and a spider. There's a closer look for you at the track where they can go on the scooters, they can do construction, and also we've got a picture of the woodland area there, which has been various things, a mud kitchen, an explore centre, various different activities that they can enjoy in there. We're trying to encourage them to bring welly boots so that it can go out in all weathers, and we are lucky that we've still got the trees there, so lots of objects for the natural objects that they can explore. couple more pictures taken from our outside area. You can see the tree house a little bit closer there. We have a reading chair, so we can sit down and read stories to the children, or often they do that themselves, so they'll take it in turns, sit in the chair and read stories to each other. So this is our early years curriculum as it stands at the moment. It is changing next year, but we're currently working on this one. So we've got 7 areas, 3 prime areas and 4 specific areas. The 3 prime areas are the ones that is really important to establish. Government guidelines are telling us that we need to make sure we put those into place first of all before moving on to the 4 specific areas. So we've got communication, language, physical development and personal, social and emotional development. And our 4 specific areas are literacy, maths, understanding of the world and expressive arts and design. In order to assess the children, we take observations of them, so we question them, move their learning on, provide next steps, and the key workers will set up activities in order to promote those next steps so the children can achieve in each of the areas. We have all areas covered inside and outside as part of our continuous provision. At the end of the year, we need to provide an assessment which is sent to Wokingham. We will judge the children against all the 17 early learning goals, depending on whether they are expected. They've reached the expected level for that early learning goal. They've gone beyond there, so their class is exceeding. They're not quite there in some of the areas, so there'll be classes emerging for those particular early learning goals, and you'll be given all that information. When we're doing that end of year assessment, if the children has achieved the expected level in all of the prime areas and the first 2 specific areas, so that's communication and language, physical development, personal, social and emotional, maths and literacy, then they will be classed as having a good level of development. Our aim is to get all the children to achieve a good level of development, and we put support and interventions in place to help them to achieve that as much as they can.
In the time that the children are with us, they make a huge amount of progress. And you can see from this slide that our expectation is by the end of the year, they'll be writing sentences and reading simple books. Currently, the curriculum splits maths into 2 areas, number and shape, space and measure. We'll cover both of these, all of the goals, in school, but also we'll show you lots of ways that you can support this learning in your everyday lives at home. So things like cooking, looking for numbers on cars or front doors, all of these are ways to help your children reach the goal. Highwood has its own curriculum where we use key questions to support children's learning on specific topics. So we begin with dinosaurs, which usually grabs children's attention. Then we look at colour, followed by who our heroes are, locally and more broadly, including your children themselves. In the early years, it's important that we work in small groups rather than as a whole class at a time. So with the teacher overseeing what's happening, each child will have a key person who really gets to know them inside out. And we then share information and knowledge about your child's interests to make sure that their learning stays relevant. You will have been told already which child your key group is on the letter. We have badgers, owls, squirrels, foxes, hedgehogs and rabbits. Once your child is in school full-time, it's really important to make sure that they arrive at school before the register. Partly this is for our own record keeping, but mostly it's so that they are able to fully enjoy the day without worrying about what they've missed. Please make sure that if a different person is collecting them at the end of the day, we're informed about it formally in the morning. Otherwise we will have to call you before we can release your child. Lunchtime's often a really popular time of the day, lots of times because of the pudding, but we do encourage the children to make their own choices about the food they eat and to make sure that they're able to do things like use a knife and fork independently, wash their hands independently, and all of those things that happen around lunchtime. Uniform at Highwood is important. It helps the children to feel proud of the school that they are part of. Definitely my key piece of advice for you would be to name absolutely everything. The early days of getting change for PE mean that it's much easier to return lost items if there's a name on it. Again, the most important thing I can tell you here is just make sure absolutely everything you can possibly think of has a name on it, including things like wellies. We often have parents asking about what they can do to help their child get ready for school. And really the most important thing is to foster a sense of independence and a can-do attitude. that will really help. I mean, have a look at the ideas here, but making sure your child feels capable to do things for themselves is really very important. Communication is key when being part of the wider school community. We would really love to get to know you as an adult as well as the parent of your child. So any skills or help that you can offer us, just let us know and we'll find out how best to use your talents in school. Over the last few years, we've taken note of the kinds of questions parents have asked regularly and set up ways to provide that information to everybody so that you can use it at home. But please don't hesitate to ask us if there's something else you need help with. We are absolutely available to support your child and you. Transition is a very key time in bringing your child into school, and we're really looking forward to being able to meet you. Home visits might feel scary, but actually it's just a supportive way for your child to know that we are safe people in their lives. It also gives you an opportunity to talk to us about anything you might not want to talk to us about in school or with other adults around. Finally, I think we'd all just like to say that we can't wait to get back to school full time, and we're really looking forward to seeing you in September. Have a wonderful summer. See you then.